And we're live. Hello. Good evening, good afternoon, buenas tardes, and buenas noches. I am Dee Watkins with Brown Girls Invest 2. If you are new to my channel, what I do here is I help other Black and Brown women learn how to spend less, save more, and grow their money through investing in the stock market. I am very blessed today to have two wonderful guests. I have Stephanie Perry from the Stephanie Perry show, right? And I also have Rashida Dow. These two women are the founders of Exodus Summit, and Exodus Summit is coming up for the fifth go round this year in a few weeks, and they are here to discuss that a little bit. But we're also going to talk about a little bit of their background and their financials and how they got to where they are. So I would not do a great job of introducing these women. I am going to let them introduce themselves to you. So let's start with you, Stephanie.
Hello, friends. My name is Stephanie Perry. I'm and co-founder of Exodus Summit. And since 2015, I have been bopping around the world without being a trust fund baby or a lottery winner. I'm glad to be here.
Lovely, lovely. And Rashida Dow.
Hello, I am Rashida. I am also not a lottery winner, but if you have a magic ticket, let me know. We are friends now. I am a career break coach. I am a move abroad coach. I help women leave spaces that no longer serve them to find their joy around the world. I'm a co-founder of Exodus Summit, and since 2019, I've lived in Mexico City.
Very nice. Very lovely. I didn't mention that I actually live in Mexico as well. I have a home in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. I am right now in my home in Atlanta. I hope I don't have any trouble. There's a storm coming through, but we're gonna roll through it. First of all, if you guys are here, come on in, say hello. Give me a like, by the way. And I want to say hi to the people that I see so far. And for the people in the back, raise your hand and say something to us, all right? Hey, big up yourself. I am really glad that you showed up. Thank you so much, Winsome. And Black Flourishing and Free, thank you very much, Zolani. I appreciate you showing up. Anybody else, if you come in the room, say hello, all right? Now, not before 10. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us. And so I'll be, as people come in, I will welcome folks, but I'm not going to interrupt these folks too much. Miss Bohemian Soul, I ain't seen you in like a minute. How you doing, girl? Be hiding out, and you in the background here somewhere, but I appreciate you joining. Thank you very much. All right. So now, on this channel, what I do is I talk about money. Okay. And hey, Francis, thank you very much for joining. Oh, look, Rashida Dow is joining us as well. Isn't that lovely?
Wow, how impressive.
That's
multiple
right.
places at the same time.
That's multitasking at its finest right there. All right. So what I do here is I talk about money. Okay. And it is always important for you guys to understand that I didn't come from money. All right. I started out with pretty much nothing. Right. And I built myself up to a point where I am financially free. Now, you guys see me as I am today, and you see these two women as they are today. They are head of very large followings with their YouTube channels, with their Facebook followings, and all these different things. Thank you all, and thank you for joining. But they've also started out as, I believe, a pharmacy technician and as a corporate attorney, right? Now, she didn't begin as a corporate attorney. So I want to talk about how they started. You see us as we are today, but there were some obstacles, some struggles that people had to get through. And those are the things I kind of want to talk about a little bit. Now, what they also are here to speak about is their 5th anniversary of the Exodus Summit, right? So we're going to talk about that just a little bit right now, but I want to circle back to it because I want to go from where you started to getting to leading women to do the things that you've done. So can you tell us a little bit about the Exodus Summit? Either one of you.
Exodus Summit. Yeah, Exodus Summit is an online conference for Black women who are interested in spending significant time out of the United States, whether it's a career break, a permanent time to bop around and live like a retiree before you're a retiree or somewhere in between. We bring speakers in to show you how to do it. how to do something that seems like a dream today, how to actually create a plan that you can be out so that you can have a little peace, so that you can have a better quality of life, so that you can have some time for community and time for yourself, and maybe a little exotic adventure romance or something. Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
Some yacht love.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, put that on the list.
All right. Okay, so I see you guys as you are today. Huge followings. I believe that you've gotten yourself to a point of financial stability, financial freedom, wherever. But how did it all start from you? So what I'm interested in knowing is, what were your earliest memories of money? Did your family speak about money? Is this investing, saving, any of that? What was it for you in your household? Either one of you, but I'm going to get to both of you.
I grew up in Delaware and Ohio, and my parents, I remember my dad talking about a new job and a pay raise. And I remember it being a super exciting thing. I also remember going to the store with a purse my mom had given me and a $20 bill, and I left it in the dressing room and didn't realize until we got home. And I said, well, easy, easy go. And Connie Perry corrected me. And that was not easy. That money did not come easy. I had to work really hard for that money, right? As a kid, I think even it's no surprise that I was a kid who didn't really see that money was a real thing. And that followed me throughout my life, where I treated money like it wasn't real. And like it didn't, right? And like it didn't, so what do you do, right? Oh, I don't have to retire. And that is still a struggle that I have in my life. Treating money like it's not real, and easy come, easy go.
It's also a little bit of a struggle as a business partner. As a business partner, it's also a little tiny bit of a struggle there as well. Just spend it. Just spend. The answer is always just spend it. And I got to be like, am I being cheap over $5? Yes, I am. So we have the difference, because growing up for me, it was always like, you have to work really, really hard for money, right? You have to work. The only way to get money is to work hard. The only way to get enough money is to work multiple jobs. I have Caribbean parents, so like all the stereotypes, right? Like full-time job, full-time school for them. Like it was always, there's never enough money and always too much work. And that related, like I picked that up really young as well, that like you have to work really hard if you want to have money.
Yeah. For me, it was a struggle a lot for my entire family, right? I didn't grow up in a 2-parent household. So my mom struggled to take care of her kids, right? She did the best she could. I think she did a fabulous job, if you ask me, right? But she kept us out of trouble. She kept us educated enough to do well for ourselves, right? But it was always never having enough, worrying about if we were going to have gas on, right? So I lived in survival mode for quite a long time, even when I didn't need to. I think maybe only in the last 10 years did I figure out I'm okay, right? But someone had to talk me through knowing that I was going to be okay. I know that I can make money without an issue, without any problem, right? I could probably lose everything today. I don't want to, but I know that I can make it back. But I am one that is going to make sure that I have something for the future. I just always am. I don't ever want to be in the situation where I was when I was a kid. So that's been my deal. I want to say hello. What you got?
I got a question for you before you say hello. Who talked you out of survival mode? Who was able to help you with that?
Actually, 2 people, my counselor and my partner.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But it took a while to get there. It really did. All right. So I want to say hey to some folks. I did say hello, Alam. I'm going to say it again. Hey, Kyoka from the Awkward Black Nomad. Zolani. Hello, Courtney. Welcome. Thank you very much. Who else do we have here? Kimmy Apple. Thank you, girl. Thanks for joining. And I think that I got everybody right now. Now, so you talked about, you guys didn't really have in your household, you guys had conversations about it, Rashida, correct? I mean,
Mhm.
you always had
No,
no?
the conversations weren't like with me, besides like, we can't afford it, or I have to go to work again. There was no like, there were statements. There was no conversation.
Okay. So when did things switch for both of you? When did you start having conversations in your household? Was it your own personal household, or was it family members around you that
It
broke
was
the conversation?
very much me talking to myself in my own household about money. Like, that's there was never any um and then sometimes like asking the family questions like, I would like to start investing. I have absolutely no idea how to do that. Do you
Hmm.
have any insights? Kind of a thing. But not
Mhm.
like, not it's not like someone talked to me about that before I was like, I've never learned this. And because this is pre-internet, I don't know where to go to learn this. Let me ask people and see if they have experiences. Was the only time any conversations like that happened.
So where did that language, investing, come from for you? Where did that first get introduced to you?
I think around around something just dinged for me. Um, my mom had been investing
Okay.
in like the early pre-bubble stuff, and then the bubble burst. And
Pre-bubbles.
that was a really negative time,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And not, I don't know that it, like a lot of us when we're dealing with investments, I don't know that it like impacted today, but it impacted the dreams for tomorrow, right?
Okay.
And so I remember seeing that, but also like watching Susie Orman on Saturday nights on
Yes.
whatever channel she was. I don't know if it was CNBC back then or what, but watching her and like realizing that there were things people were doing. Now, don't watch Susie Orman now. Oh, Susie Orman, okay. News. Anyway, um, things that other people were doing with money that brought them long term successes,
Sure.
right? Like I was listening to Dave Ramsey, I was watching Susie Orman, even though it hurt a lot sometimes. But like it,
Denied.
it was. I mean, where were we getting money content back in like the late '90s, early 2000s?
Yeah, yeah, that's
That's
it.
it.
And anyone that Oprah Winfrey dragged on her show, that's about it, right?
Right?
So Stephanie, what about you? Did investing, when did that first come into your circle?
In my early 20s, my parents realized that I was going to live with them forever, and that was my dream life. Like literally, that was my dream life. And they were like, no, this can't happen. So my dad made me buy a house, and my parents moved me out and made me buy a house and do some things to try to start setting me up for the future. Um, but it was against my will. It was absolutely against my will. And then every job I had some sort of, investment vehicle or some sort of, retirement vehicle, 401k, 403b, 40 something. And my dad would sit down. My dad would tell me, here's how much you need. Here's how much matching. Like, here's how much you should be
Mhm.
putting in to maximize the matching. Because seriously, they were like, you cannot stay here anymore. My dad was my person,
Yeah.
to teach me things. And so that's what I did. I didn't spend any time researching things on my own. And I didn't spend, because I really did think everything that I would even dream of was so out of the picture, right? It was
Okay.
so it was just not even worth spending my time on. I did it so that my dad would be okay, so he wouldn't be stressed out.
Oh wow. Okay. Just curious, has it shifted that you want to do it for yourself now, or you still try to make sure dad is good?
I do want them to be at peace. I want them to be okay. Like they're coming up on old age, right? My dad he'll be 80 soon. I don't want him to have to worry about my financial future.
Yes.
So I guess that's the answer. I don't want him to be on his last days stressed out about what's going to happen to that girl, right? That's
So it's
basically.
okay. All right. All right. So I'm actually looking at some of the comments. If you guys don't know, I was actually tricked into investing to begin with. I started working at AT&T at age 19, and my very first job, I was a 411 operator. I made $222 a week. And the union steward came over. She put a card down on the table, told me to sign it. I'm like, what is it? She said, sign it. So I signed the thing. And then she said, you're in the 401k. That was my entry into investing. Okay. What happened is after I started saving, not on purpose, they're pulling money out of my check. So I'm saving and the thing is starting to add up. And well, now wait a minute. I like that. I like to see money grow, right? So that's actually what got me started. And then after that, I actively sought out to invest on my own outside of my 401k. Some of the resources that I see people mentioning here, Alam mentioned Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and that thing made me mad. It made me mad because of the way he portrayed his real father. The story turned out not to be true at all, but it made me mad enough to say, I am going to do this because I see how the other side is living. And I wanted to be able to do that without issue. I also see that Black enterprise, that was a huge thing. That was our own, that I can remember, the only thing that was consistently put out for Black folks to learn how to save, invest, and grow their money, right? I also see David Bach. Hey, Prepared Agent, this is Bobby. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. I know you are out right now with one of your clients, probably. David Bach is one of the authors that I suggest a couple of his books. One of them is The Automatic Millionaire. You probably first heard of him from being on the Oprah Winfrey Show. He followed that up with a, what's the series? Rich series. Anyway, one of them is Start Late, Finish Rich. Those two, if you are in any need of getting some education, those are the things that will help you get your mindset ready to start investing. Okay. And by the way, I didn't say hello to Thriving on Enough. Thank you very much, Stephanie. I appreciate you joining. And hey, Katrina, I'm surprised Katrina somewhere ain't in the water somewhere.
It was raining.
Yeah, so these were our things. And Susie Orman, I was the Susie Orman of my neighborhood. So, or my circles, right? Those were those were the resources I used to get myself to where I am. So what I want to know from you guys is after you got an idea of what this investing thing was, I want to know, have you guys had any financial setback, or what financial thing got your head together to say that I've got to do better for myself?
I needed a roof on my house, and that man sat at my dining room table and wrote out the estimate as if he was selling me a car. It was $200 and some a month for 24 or 36 months or something like that. Oh, and nice. I said, first of all, no, I will not. No, I will not. But I was like, no, I'm not going to keep this. This life is not working. This way of doing money is not working. That was also really close to the time when I decided that I was going to put money towards traveling full time. Okay. And so I was like, well, I got to get a handle on things. Because if I want to travel for a year, I need to come up with this $14,400 that I'm going to use, right? So that's when I really got serious about, like, how much money do I have? And how much money do I spend? And how much money do I put aside? But I was 40 years old at that point, right? Like, okay. Talk about starting late. That was me.
Well, the other part is you go finish rich no matter what. It don't matter. You got it.
I'll take it.
And what about you, Rashida?
When I was fresh out of law school, I was at some lunch. I got invited to some lunch with what turned out to be a financial planner from Ameriprise. It's a Black woman. And I see your face, Dee. You know when someone's like has more knowledge than you and they're talking to you and they like it was a situation where I felt like she had more knowledge than me and she's talking to me about a plan that sounds good until I put the plan in motion and now I'm like, what did I do? Like I remember her telling me that like, and this is back in like the early 2000s, so keep that in mind, that like student loans are forever and everyone has student loans, so don't even worry about paying those off, which I don't necessarily disagree with generally, especially now when there's so much forgiveness happening. But for me, as someone who hates debt, having student loans forever would have changed my life. I would never have taken a break. I would not have stopped working if I owed the government money. I got to pay the, right? I would not have taken a career break if I had student loans at the time. And so like, that is a message that will resonate with some people. And it made sense when she said it, but I was like, but that when I completed the whole plan, it was like, this was not the plan for me. She also convinced me that taking out a loan secured by my home to pay off my credit cards.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay, go on. You're good, so it's fine.
Was the great idea. And that investing with her was another great idea.
Okay.
And the loan to pay off the credit cards was just to free up more money to invest with her. Because I didn't have the money to invest with her when I was paying credit, you know what I mean? Like paying the higher interest rate on the credit cards.
Yeah.
So by the time now I have a HELOC. And I hadn't addressed my spending. So now I have a HELOC and more credit card debt because we didn't address how I got here. So we're still going down the same path. I got more credit card debt again. I got the HELOC and my student loans are just never going to get paid off. And I was like, I allowed myself to get hoodwinked. Right. And from then I was like, I need to take more control because there has to be a way, and this isn't the way, right? There has to be a way out, and this is not the way. So that's when I was like, okay, I have to get serious about my money because clearly I can't rely on other people for assistance because let's see what happened here, right? Yeah, that was the turning point for me. Looking around.
Did you figure that out, or did someone point it out to you?
I figured it out. I figured it out because it wasn't in alignment with who I am. Right?
Okay.
You're going to have this debt for the rest of your life.
Sure.
Was not in alignment with who I was. Right? I don't like that. I don't want to owe nobody nothing.
I hear that. Right? Yep.
I turned unsecured debt into secured debt. How that?
Yeah. Secured. Yeah. With a home.
On my home. Right? On my home.
You figured it out.
Baby, I was like, PNC, let me give you your money as quickly as I can, baby. Let's get rid of this. Let's do what we can do.
So I'm just curious, did you have the kind of student loan debt that attorneys these days have?
I did not get scholarships in undergrad or grad school. So I had at least $200,000 in student loan debt.
Wiped out.
I have paid it all off. Yes.
Great job. Great job.
Because student loans be playing in your face, girl. How come I pay you every month and I owe you more money than I did? But that was the thing. I think if anything radicalized me about my finances, it was student loans. Why these numbers not numbering? Like we all do math the same way, except for Navient and the rest of them. Like why is your math special and different? What's happening here? That's
so you figured this out, but I'm wondering, is there what lesson did either of you or both of you have to learn hard about money?
I had to learn that I had to learn that other people treat it like it's a real thing. And so I need to, at some point, then right? If that man is going to sit in front of me and write down this water heater thing, right? I need to make sure that I have money, because even if I don't think it's real, other people do think it's real, and I need to live that way, and I need to be prepared for what's coming.
So funny thing is, I have a roofing story. My roof got damaged in some storm, and I hit up the insurance company like, come on through and pay for this. This is what insurance is for. And they were like, oh no, this is damage from rain, not damage from a storm. And I was like,
So
rain versus a storm? How do
It
you?
doesn't make sense.
And then I was like, oh, I guess I don't have a roof then. Because what do you mean? So I don't know what happened. I don't know if I feel like they got caught redlining or something, because 2 weeks later, I hear a clickety clack outside and there's some noise on the roof. And another man has come out to inspect the roof. And he was like, we gonna pay for this. I hadn't called. I hadn't done anything to appeal or anything. But some man, first y'all said you weren't going to pay for it, and now you came out on your own and said you're going to pay for it. Somebody got in trouble. I said, oh, I don't know what happened. I will take this new roof. Thank you. But I really was like, oh, I guess I won't have I guess we're going to have to thug it out for another couple winters, because I don't have roof money. So what are we doing?
Mm-hmm. You're Stephanie. I'm sorry, I'm speaking to Keoka now. You better switch gears or you better continue on the path that Stephanie has gone on. Okay. All right. So now I am curious, was wealth building ever a goal for either of you earlier in your lives?
I went to law school. The reason I went to law school was because I knew I couldn't afford myself as a part-time receptionist, which was what I was doing before law school. I was like, she costs too much. And if I have to pay her bills, yes, talking about myself in the third person, if I have to pay her bills, we need a different job, because this is not it. Like, I didn't want to work a lot, but I wanted a lot of money. So it wasn't necessarily like wealth building, but it was like, I need shoes. Mm-hmm. Like, I went to Wells Fargo and they were like, no, girl, you can't get $20 out of your account. Okay, so yeah, no, it literally was like, I spent a lot of money.
Okay.
And so let's get some money to spend. And then that turned into, let's get out of debt. And then that turned into like, what can we do with money? How much money can we have?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I want my money. You said, I like to see money. I need to be in a position now to see the money grow. I'm also like super interested in what assets do I have or can I get that will be money in the future, right? This is a different time in the world, and things like YouTube channels and online businesses and books they can be money, right? Those things can be money in the bank. And so that's the approach that I'm taking now. I would say it's wealth building, but that's not how I normally describe it. But I want things that grow, right? I've been friends with Rashida since 2019, and she's shared almost every year on her channel. She'll share her financial statements. And I'm like, oh, my Vanguard account doesn't look like that, but I now have a picture of what it can do, what money can do. It's hard to really get a handle on like what compound interest really looks like and what making money really looks like. Mm-hmm. But seeing that firsthand shows me, oh, okay, if I leave this alone, right, this is a thing. This is how money grows. So I'm right now focused on different ways to grow money. So I guess that is called wealth building, right? I want the money to grow in my Vanguard account. I want to create assets in the world that are money in the bank. And so that's my version of wealth. Absolutely, I want it. I'm not going. Some of the things that we do as business owners is hard. I'm not doing this forever.
Right. your pre-done labor should be making money for you. So Rashida actually has gone from just affording herself and affording shoes to now she has a channel, Rashida Doe, where every now and then she shows she got dough, y'all. She got $2-3, right? And Stephanie, for you, Stephanie also has another channel. I believe it's Stephanie Perry Media. Is that correct?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So those are assets that will continue to make money for you. Those are passive forms of income. Just you owning those things, both of you, those will continue to produce money for you going forward. Um, what strategy are you both excited about for yourself that will continue to grow money for you?
Books. I'm super excited about books. I'm super excited about publishing my own books, publishing other people's books. I think that that is my wealth vehicle. I think
Yeah.
that that is my yacht plan. That's my yacht plan right now. Something else could happen. I'm open to rich suckers, right? Knocking on my door. Right now, my wealth plan is I publish my own books and I publish other people's books, and that is my future. And I'm super excited about it. Super excited.
I'm sorry, we got a question. One second. I should have looked at the question before I grab it. Katrina, DIO less than 12,000 Canadian. Other than my credit cards with low balances and my cell phone bill, I owe no one. Yay. Do you recommend I pay Navien in one lump sum to get rid of that bill? What's your interest rate? But again, why are you paying interest on? So if you have the money to do it, I would consider how much interest am I paying out for that loan versus how much I could take the money that I have, and if I could grow it more than that, what I'm paying out, I would do that. But I don't want debt. Debt is just going to continue to snowball. Get rid of it. Once you're done with it, what I would do, I would get rid of it. Once I'm done with it, whatever I was paying them, I would take that and throw it into something that's going to grow in value. That's my answer. Rashida Doe, do you have a response for this?
I do. I'm not excited. There's nothing that excites me about making money. I am excited about having money. Making money is not my business. Like, girl, just show up. Money, where you at? Come through. And so a little bit of background. About 12 years ago, I had $1,000 invested. Total.
I'm sorry, how long ago?
About 12 years.
Come on, girl.
About 12 years ago, I had $1,000. Total. That was when I started my Vanguard account. Maybe like 2010, maybe 14, but I think it's 12. And it doesn't matter.
It does matter. Go on.
What I mean is, like, it's 2 years. Like it.
Okay. Go
it's
on.
2010 or 2012. It doesn't matter. And I have continued to put small amounts invest small amounts when I have it. Now it's about $200 a month I invest, and that's it. And then large amounts when I get a windfall, like when I got a severance, go ahead and put that in the account. And it has grown over time. And so now I'm very much like, time, you lazy so-and-so, you got work to do. Like, you're the one who needs to be working, not me. I'm chilling. And not that, okay, so I feel a little bit conflicted about that sometimes, because we live in a society that pushes more and more and more and more and more. Like, if you have money, you should be invested. Like, the chase for more money never ends. And I don't like being in those never ending loops, right? I'm the kind of person that if I see myself in something where I'm like, I'm going to continue like, there's no out, there's no off ramp for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to step to the side. I'm jumping off the bridge, right? And so that's kind of where I am with money, in that, like, I know there are active things I could do to make the money I have grow more. But, like, I eat enough plantain chips. I go on enough vacations. Like, it's not that I don't want more money. I would like yacht money. I don't feel like getting in the cycle of work that I would have to do right now. But my brain tells me I would have to do right now to have yacht money in a year. I don't want to do
Okay.
that. Do I have to do that work at all? No, because money loves me and money's going to come to me, and that the time is going to happen. The money is going to come, right? But I just, in a sense, I've opted out of the money chase. I like to make, don't ever get me wrong, I like to make money. If you want to pay for something, please and thank you. But the active, you should be investing in real estate or I personally don't find that soothing to my soul, which is where I want to be right now. I'd rather feel more grounded than have more money.
You mentioned chasing money. So I don't chase money. I love making money. I do. I love to see it grow. I swear to God, I do. But my money is making money for me. I'm making other people money at this point, right? And so that's what's important to me. I'm around too many people that do not look like me that have goo gobs of money. And when I see folks that look like me that aren't doing well, those are the people that I want to help, right? A lot of times I see that there are women that don't think they can invest, don't think they can save, and they actually can. They just have never been taught how to do it, right? And once you give them a few steps, they're off and running, right? So it's not the chase for me. I'm done chasing. I've done that. You mentioned real estate. I've made my money with real estate and in the stock market, right? And so I stopped officially earning money 5.5 years ago with my work, right? I retired early. But now I'm just living off of the work that I did years ago. And that is continuing to make money for me. I want other people to be in the position where you don't have to go up to some job and say, what y'all want me to do for these next 2 weeks? I want you to be able to sit back and decide you got yacht money or shoe money or whatever it is, with your assets providing that for you and time producing that money for you.
But the work you're doing around money, does it feel like work?
When I'm working with someone, no, that does not feel like work. The other things, the business portion of it, that feels like work to me. And that's starting to,
right. What I mean is, like, in your own, the way your money makes you money, does that feel like work for you?
No, it's done. It's a done deal. I'm sitting here right now, I'm getting paid.
Okay. Is that active work or is it passive work?
That's passive.
Okay. So I think we might be saying the same thing, in the sense that, like, active work with money is not what I want to do. That's when I say the chase. I mean the active work, right? If more money wants to show up, I'm happy for it. But the active, let me figure out what to invest in, let me figure out all of that stuff, that is not relaxing or soothing to me. And that's where I want to be. Not that the chase is bad, because for some people, they're going to live it and love it, and it's going to feel good to them. And I think you should do what feels good to you. That just doesn't feel good to me personally, which is why I'm like, my money will show up when it's supposed to show up. Rich suckers, light fraud.
Stop saying that.
Doing it.
That was
Listen, we are right here. She right here. I'm gonna do a little something that's not gonna have me ending up in some Fed time. We're good, solid. We are good.
Right. What were you saying, Stephanie?
It's a real strategy. The rich sucker is a real. That's a real strategy out there.
Let me see if I can get me a rich sucker real quick.
We know too many divorcees who are living high on the hog.
I hear that.
To not believe in a rich sucker.
Okay. So for you guys, your financial challenges, has it been your roof, that guy sitting across from you? What's been the biggest financial challenge for you?
So far for me, it's been, I want to take a year and not work and travel. And how do I do that? I think that was the biggest puzzle I had to solve so far. That was 2014 and 2015. And that was so far, that's been the biggest thing. Because even buying houses, back in the day, anybody could buy a house. I've owned a couple of homes, and I've done, But the biggest challenge for me was, here's the thing that I really want for myself.
Okay.
That is going to require a lot of time, a lot of discipline, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's probably been the biggest financial challenge that I faced, and like one.
For me, I would say it's something that I see in a lot of people I talk to around the same time Steffi's talking about. Like when I took my break, the idea that like I was spending money, but there was no money coming in. And I did that at 38. I've been working since I was 12. So all I know is like there's money coming in weekly, monthly, or biweekly. Like, what you mean I'm spending and there's nothing replenishing. And so that for me was more, and this happens to a lot of women too, it's more of a mental issue than an actual financial issue. Because financially, I was fine. But getting yourself around that mindset that it's okay to spend money when you're not making money it's challenging.
Yeah.
And so I would say that that was it, where it was like, it's not even that I don't have the money, it's I don't have the new money. Where's the new money?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a big challenge for me.
I want to go back to something. I'm sorry. Rashida, you mentioned you started with $1,000 total, right?
Mm-hmm.
And over a course of either 12 or 14 years,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen, at least earlier in the year, I think I saw that you shared where you had grown your money to. Are you open to sharing that or around about now?
Yeah, I just don't know what the number. I can tell you I tried to log into Vanguard and Vanguard was like, no, oh wait, maybe I can. I don't know what the number is, girl.
Well, I'll tell you what, if me knowing what the market has done, I know where I think it should be.
Wait a minute.
Pointing
Skip to
this out.
Stephanie and I'm gonna come back to you and I'm gonna have an answer and like a real answer.
Okay.
I had to restart my phone.
Listen, my Vanguard account looks like, girl, keep working. You're not woo woo woo. My Vanguard account number is woo.
That's all right. You're putting the things in place, right? We mentioned people thinking they don't have the money to do certain things. It is the same case for you guys with convincing. I don't know if you're convincing people or at least showing people what can be for them in their life if they decide they want to leave their home country, if they want to go out on a career break, right?
Yes.
It's kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah.
You got the number for us?
I got the number. Most of my money is in mutual funds.
Okay.
Right. In actual stocks in a company, that I never actually on my challenge.
You don't have to break it out from individual companies to
all right.
Give it a big number.
It's part of the story, so I think it is worth breaking
All right,
out.
let's hear it.
To get the difference. That's $300,000. And that was from RSUs. That was from working at a tech company and then being like, if you stay, you get stocks. Thank you. And then they laid me off and I lost half of them, half of the promised value of the job.
Lord.
They laid me off I was at a 4-year vesting schedule and they laid me off 2 years into it. And I was like, but I moved here to get all this money. And they were like, girl, go to hell. Okay. So yeah, I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars when I got laid off, which I've never said on the internet before. So hi, friends. And then in the $1,000 is now $1,063,000.
All right, y'all. Did y'all hear what she said? I think she said she started with small amounts of money and she did it within, say, 14 years. Start taking your money and putting it aside to do things like that. Now, I'm not saying it's all going to go to $1 million, but there's a good chance that it could, right? That's not including the 300,000?
No. So I just checked. So Vanguard only lets you go back 10 years. So 10 years ago, this is why I think it's important to figure out where we are. 10 years ago, I had $82,000 82,000 invested, and I went from 82,000 to $1 million in 10 years.
Okay. For people that think it's too late, I'm sorry. So I'm pretty sure Rashida was in her 30s at that time,
Yes.
right? It's possible, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible if you put your money in the right things.
Mm-hmm.
If you put your money into solid investments, and she not chasing money. She ain't doing no extra moving around. She ain't doing none of that. The girl going to brunch and buy shoes and getting on cruises, right?
Mm-hmm.
Her money is doing that for her.
Mm-hmm.
The company she's invested in is doing that for her. Put your money to work and start putting your money into things that grow in value. I see a lot of times our folks don't tend to, we go buy stuff to put on our back, or we want to drive our money. It's okay to have those things, but please have some money working for you so that you don't have to work as hard, right? Your money is supposed to be doing the heavy lifting for you.
I'll tell you, I love cars. I've always loved cars. I
ain't got a one right now.
I love cars. I started working at BMW, and they let me drive whatever car they wanted. This is also why I made money. Like, I didn't have a car payment. My as a lawyer, my mortgage was about $500 a month because I bought an inexpensive house. I didn't have a car payment or insurance because I drove the company car. Blessings on blessings, I understand. But when I left them after about 8 years, and I was looking at car payments, I was like, I don't have a car no more. Like, these new day numbers?
Crazy.
Y'all paying 4 figures for a car? I said, oh.
Right. Now they have 7-year loans or something like that?
72 months.
Lost your mind.
Oh no. Oh, beloved. I love them. And I can't do it. Won't do it.
I just want to speak to Ty 1 second. Ty, you said, I wish I had started with Vanguard 10 years ago. Don't do the I wish, don't do that woulda, coulda.
Today.
You just heard the woman say it today. Do it today. Right? Okay. If you do it today, 10 years from now, you're going to be able to sit back and go, just like what she did. Okay?
That's right.
All right. I'm sorry.
Listen, so I said move to Mexico and get the bus. I be on that, what is it? It's a 30-cent bus every day. I'm on the 30-cent bus. It don't matter what I got in Vanguard. Mm-hmm. I'm not buying a car. Okay. I'm on the 25-cent metro. I'm walking 15 minutes to get on the 25-cent train. I'm taking the bus. Maybe I Uber, but my transportation expenses aren't exceeding $50 a month. I'm not paying $1,000. These people buying trucks for that.
I ain't gonna be able to do it. I drive my car until they be like, "Girl, if you don't stop, you keep it going."
Keep going.
My company, I actually was helped to being retired. Mm-hmm. I just want to get this right. When I started my career in where I'm from, Chicago, right? I spent 27 years with my company there. I got sick of the weather. I moved to Atlanta, right? Before I came, I asked, do you guys have enough work? They said, yes, come on down. I came down, and within, I think, 9 months of me being there, they started laying people off. And I went, wait a minute. We didn't talk about this, right? Mm-hmm. So I was able to hang in there, right? Because I had different skill sets coming from Chicago than they had in the South, right? So I got to the point where I had 29 years, get it right, 7 months left, 29 years and 5 months service. When you work for AT&T, there's something called the rule of 45, the rule of 30, what is it? The rule of 75, that's what it is. So either you are 50 years age, right? And 25 years service, you can go with all of your benefits. I wasn't 50 years old, okay? I had 29 years and 5 months service, and they tried to get rid of me. They tried, didn't work. Anyway, I used my benefits and extended my stay a little longer until I got to my 30-year service. And I said, you can do whatever you want to do right now, so that I didn't lose any of my benefits. Take advantage of the things that your company offers to you. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, these people, and I'm not in San Miguel right now, but they ride the bus. I did it twice. I ain't doing it no more. Well, I might, but not really.
Listen, my bus takes me exactly where I want to go, drops me off in front of my place. Yeah. I ain't got to walk nowhere. I love it. Love it. Be on the bus with the peoples.
Rashida, do you manage your own money?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Stephanie, is someone helping you, or are you getting tips from?
No, indeed, because listen, we read Cashing Out before Exodus Summit 2022, and they explained what it costs you to
Mm-hmm.
have somebody manage that money. And I was like, no, if I'm getting to where I need to go, it needs to be without that. Right? My stuff needs to be, I need to not be paying those fees. It was like
Mhm.
a ridiculous amount of money over like a 20-year
Mm-hmm.
period. If you're paying
Yes.
someone, I think it was like 1% or 2%. It was
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Again, I don't understand how money compounds. I don't know. It doesn't, but the number was ridiculous. So no, indeed, no.
My my dad had someone managing his money, and they stole from him, and we were never able to get that money back. It stole from him in the sense that like they got a percentage every time they did a trade, and it would be like the trades were ridiculous. Like what is happening here? Um, and I was like, this don't make any sense. But my dad was like, no, I trust him. All right, I what else can I do? He didn't have dementia or anything. He was of sound mind and body. It's your money. You're gonna do what you want to do with it. You trust him more than you trust me. More than you're trusting his advice more than you're trusting mine. Okay. Um, I think that guy lost his license though, but whatever. He definitely got fired. When we were like, went to the company, like, look at these numbers, look at what's happening here. They were like, oh, about that. And then my mom had a Vanguard account way before me. And I think they called her once and talked her into like some kind of managed situation. I
Mhm.
looked at the numbers and I called them back like, go to hell. Absolutely not.
Deuces, get kick rocks, get out of here. Right.
What are you actually doing for this money? And they were like, oh, well, you see, no.
Putting it the same place that you could.
In the same account.
Exactly.
What did you do
Exactly.
for the like Vanguard, love y'all, mean it, but go to hell. I said
Mhm.
no, absolutely not. We're not
So, Ty's got a question. Some of this
Mhm.
speaks toward money, but some of this is actually related to the Exodus Summit. If you haven't kept up over the past 5 years, they've brought in resources and people that can teach you how to be able to exit a company sooner or retire sooner than
Yeah.
your numbers or your body say you can do it. She says, what would you say to someone who starts investing today but doesn't want to wait or spend another 10 years to retire early? I don't think I can last another 5 years working. I'm going to let y'all speak to that part if you want, if you can.
Career breaks are a real thing. If what you mean is, listen, I need a break, I'm always tell you take a break, right? A career break is a real thing, and you can take. Some people call them mini retirements, right?
Mhm.
If what you mean is, listen, I can't make it another few years, but if I took a year or two off, then I could come back. That is a solid option that
Mhm.
a lot of people in our community do.
Mhm. My advice would be to pay attention to how you're investing your pre-retirement dollars and your post-retirement dollars, right? So when you're investing now, are you putting all your money into some kind of retirement vehicle like a 401k that you won't be able to access until after retirement? And if you know that you're not going to make it until whatever, till that age, or however many years that is, does it make sense for you knowing that to shift some money to non-retirement vehicles? But that is not financial advice. Maybe I don't know you, I don't know your situation. I'm a lawyer, I'm not your lawyer.
Right.
I am not a financial person. Thank you. Okay. But yeah, okay. Can I let me actually tell a story real quick.
Okay.
I have 90% of my money is in, like, I have money, but 90% of it is in retirement accounts. What am I doing with that? I can't, like, it's like it doesn't exist. Like, it's nice to know for the future, but that future, I'm 45. That's 20 plus years. That's a long way away from like really gripping that cash. And so it's like, I have to think about not like what I'm investing now, non retirement investments that can grow. But I feel like will be taxed, whatever, but they'll still grow at a rate that I'm comfortable with, because I can't put all my eggs in my retirement basket, because it's a long time to wait.
So I do consultations with people, right? If you're in a position where you think that you're not going to be able to last 5 years, and someone's saying that, just kind of makes me cringe a little bit. You actually, what she mentioned, again, not financial advice. It's education or entertainment. Take it however you want. But you should probably, I would consider putting money into things that you will be able to get your hands on, right? If it's in a retirement account, you don't want to do that because it is made for retirement. You can invest outside of your retirement accounts, right? And as long as you're putting your money into, say, the total market, even if you don't, it's not enough money for you to flat out retire. It's enough money for you to decide, I'm done working for now, right? And to shift gears and figure out something else. What is your next move? That can be done outside of a retirement account. So consider doing something like that. Again, this is just for kicks and just for giggles. Okay. So, do what you want to do, but that's what I would consider doing. All right. Now, level set a little bit. So she mentioned not being able to possibly make it another 5 years. This is happening a bunch for folks that look like us because things are being thrown on us, put on us heavy every time. We've got this election coming up and they want Black women to save the world. Maybe we can do that. Maybe we don't want any parts of it, but you need to be taking care of yourself right now. And some of the things that they teach, some of the people that they are bringing to you with the Exodus Summit can help you get to that point. I don't want to do this. I'm not gonna do it. Okay.
We want you to do it. We want you to do it, Steve.
Do it. No. You'll kill me. I won't do that. What are your personal financial goals for, say, the next 5 to 10 years? Rashida she gonna double her money, y'all. Remember, today she's starting with $1 million, right? Where is that gonna be in 10 years?
10 years. That's the way compounding interest seems to work. That's more than that, right?
That stock market is doing the thing. I don't necessarily have a money goal.
Okay,
I have a comfort goal. Like, I know I want more. The more money I have, the more comfortable and secure I am. What activities am I willing to do to get more money? I've already told you, 0. Exodus Summit, right? Like, besides like the actual work I do, the thing with the actual money, like doing stuff with money, I'm not really into. So I don't necessarily think of it as a money goal as much as like in our society, more money is better than less money. So money, when you're ready, please show up.
Money makes things easier, faster. It reduces friction, right? It's not. That's what it's for.
Yes,
it's to take care of you, right? So it's not a bad thing to have.
You can spend it on things that will make you happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely. Stephanie, do you happen to have any money goals or any comfort goals?
So I have a yacht goal, and I have picked out several yachts at various price points. I have all my yachting needs. Okay. Mm-hmm. So
Is there a man on that yacht?
Sure. He might be the chef.
That's okay. That's okay.
If I pay for the yacht, there is no man on the yacht. Okay. But rich sucker and all that. So like I have like, I don't know that I have a specific money goal, but I have yachts picked out, right? And I want to be able to live a life where I pay for this yacht and the yacht expenses, and it's a breeze and it's not stressing me out. So yes, I have money goals, but various money goals, right? I found a $3 million yacht that would be perfectly serviceable. I've found an $80 million yacht that would be bomb. All right.
I can't even see myself doing something.
And there's probably a 400K catamaran, that would fit my needs as well.
All of your money goals are around water, it seems. Yeah.
What else? Like,
yeah. I hadn't thought of money goals the way Stephanie phrased it, but like there are at least 4 cities I'd like to have an apartment in that's just mine.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think of it as like a money goal. It's more of like a life kind of vibe goal for me. But I guess you do need money to do that, don't you?
Listen,
I want a flat in London that I'm only there for like 2 months out of the year because it's truly the rest of it's kind of gross.
It's
Sorry,
great.
but yeah, that's
you don't have actual money goals. Did at some point, years before, did you have a number in mind for yourself?
Oh, I did have a number before. Oh,
go ahead.
Sorry. Before I started, I'm currently in the process of starting, very early process of starting adoption. But there was a time when I thought, you know what, I used to work for a credit card issuer years ago, and people who had $2 million in their USB accounts, UBS accounts, they were getting about 100K per year to live on, right? 100K in dividends. So I always thought $2 million, it's going to pay me $100,000 a year to live, and that's good. So before my yacht dream, $2 million was my number. I had no plan to get to the $2 million, but I did have that number in my mind.
I think like a lot of people, hitting like 7 figures sounded amazing, right? Like, and impossible. Because I can't save it, right? Like, where's this money gonna come from? Since then, I track my money.
Okay.
So like every month, the beginning of every month, I go through all my accounts and be like, how much money is in here?
Okay.
Which is what, but like and then I close it and I don't go back in those accounts for another month. How much money is in here? Which is why a couple weeks, maybe a month and a half ago, people were freaking out because the stock market was doing something. I was like, it's the middle of the month. I don't have middle of the month business.
Okay.
And by the time, see, that's the thing though, by the time the end of the month came and the beginning of the month, I checked it, we were back to normal. It was a blip in the middle of the month. Everybody's freaking out. And I was like, I'll check it on the 1st. If I remember, maybe the 3rd. See what's doing.
I'm still rich.
Until then, like, because everybody was like, oh, we're all going to be so broke. And I was like,
it was the end, right? It was the end. This is the worst day since some other worst day, right? It was the end of the world.
Maybe it is, but I won't know about the end of the world until the new month.
Do you do any regular check-ins, Stephanie?
Yeah. Maybe once a month, maybe once a quarter, but definitely every quarter, but sometimes every month. I look at Vanguard and be like, okay, I have the automatic. It took me a while to set up automatic. For a long time when I was I didn't have money. So I didn't have automatic investments going into my Vanguard account.
Okay.
But now that things go in automatically, once a quarter, I'll pull it up and be like, well, login still works. I'm not touching stuff. I'm not moving stuff. Although I did add in REIT. I just learned somewhere. I learned about there was an REIT, right? From whatever my regular So I just did a second one. Whatever. I did a second one. I put some money in the REIT, right? So now things are going into 2 different accounts instead of 1. Okay. That's as much as I'm willing to. Okay. I'm not, but I do look at it sometimes.
Okay. That's great. And she's saying, well, that's fine to say REIT. It's a real estate investment trust. People normally will call them REITs. So just for the audience, not for you. It's cool. Yes.
We got it.
All right. So now, both of you, do you have any money quirks that people don't know about that you're willing to share?
I used to check as a lawyer, as a poor lawyer, I used to check my bank balance daily. Because, girl, what are you doing? And I grew out of that, and I'm now at the point where, like, that's not my business. What's in the bank, as long as it's not negative. And Bank of America will tell me. Bank of America will be like, girl, you told us to let you know when you're under this amount, and you're under it by a penny. You poor little. Okay, so now I try to pay off my credit card every Friday.
Oh, cool. That's
I
good.
remember every Friday I check my credit cards. How much do I owe? I'll go in the bank and see, do I have enough money to pay them all off?
Yeah.
If I don't, okay. But American Express gonna come and take that whole chunk out of my account, whether I got it or not. So let me find a way. Let me find a way. Is it prostitution? I don't know. Let me find a
Oh,
way.
dear.
You can
The
bleep
first
that
time
out.
American Express came in and took like seven
I'll show
grand
you how
out
to
of my
bleep that.
account.
I always have to bleep after I have
Oh, I'm
Rashida on
sorry.
my channel.
Serious?
My bad. I forgot you can't say stuff like that. YouTube's
All
gonna be
right.
like, what were they talking about?
Demonetized. No, we're not doing that.
No, the first time American Express swiped like 6 or 7 grand from my account, I was like, who, how you,
Why are you spending 6 or 7 grand in a girl? Okay. That's all right.
Stephanie?
Okay.
It's all Stephanie.
Why is Stephanie fault? Why? What'd she do?
Yeah,
It just sounded good. It
that's
just sounded good.
All right, we're gonna
not
blame
like
that.
me.
No, you can't spend 7 grand in a month.
That doesn't sound like something I would do.
It absolutely does. Number one, number one, absolutely
We
does.
having
So I
something.
moved on to D. Listen, they came and
My
said,
money,
go ahead.
my work used to be that I would hate to see the money leave my account. I worked really hard for that money, and I would hate to see it leave. And for quite a while, I did not pay my car payment, even though I had the money to pay my car payment. This was in my 30s, and I was going through some things. I was not all, everything was not copacetic, but I had the money to pay the car payment, refused to pay them the money. They came and took the car, and I had to go get on the bus, go to the people and pay them the money so I could get my car back, plus penalties and fees and all of that. That used to be a real problem of mine, seeing the money, even though it wasn't, I just hated to see it. Working hard for money it really messes with your mind. And it convinced me that this was my life. That when I had to pay money for things, I was paying with my life because I made the money with my life. Now that I no longer, am at all convinced that hard work is the answer, right? That hard work equals money. I have less of a problem with that, but that is a thing. That is a thing for me, and I have to keep an eye on that. You have to pay the money, right? You have to pay it. It's gonna leave. More is gonna come back. That's a money problem or money quirk. I don't know if that's a quirk or like a problem, but it's a thing that I have to stay on top of all the time because I don't want to fall back into that. I remember watching that man. I woke up in the middle of the night and I heard that tow truck in my driveway, and I was like, now I have the money. I just couldn't. I couldn't send it. I couldn't pay it. There's just, it was a difficult time, a difficult time in my life.
Do you mind sharing about how long ago that was?
Yeah, 30. It was probably 15 years ago.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, probably 15 years ago. I lived in Wilmington. Yeah, mid 30s. I'm 50 now, so mid 30s.
Okay.
But it just like everything was just sucking my money out, right? The house and the car and the everything. And when do I get to enjoy it? When do I get to use it? When do I get to at least see it grow? Mm-hmm. Right? I was at a point where I didn't have the money to see it grow. Mm-hmm. And that was really a problem. It was hard.
Was that a turning point for you?
No, because it took me a while to work through that. It took me a while, even after getting on that bus, paying them people that money, getting the car back. It took 2 days to get the car back at least, right? Okay. Riding the bus to work in the meantime. Even still, I didn't really address the problem of what the attack that it felt like to see the money leave me. I think I didn't really address that until I separated hard work from money. And that didn't happen until I took that sabbatical and I saw people around the world living their lives and not dedicating their whole lives to work. And so for them, hard work and money didn't go together. There was work, there was money, there was family, there was free time, there was a whole bunch of other things. For me, it was all hard work and money. Even though I wasn't that hard of a worker. I don't want to overstate things, but I did feel like my life, I worked night shift, and my whole life was to get that paycheck because I didn't have any other life. Go to work at 10 p.m., get off at 7 a.m. There's nothing else I can do during the day. So my whole life was work. And so that money really, it was more than money to me at the time. It felt like my life. It felt like I was giving them pieces of my life, my years, like actual time off of my life every time I sent money away for something.
So I'm curious, I'm sorry, at that time, did you think all work was hard work?
Yeah, well, yeah, because I didn't have, there was no other way that there was no other work that I was doing that I enjoyed. There was no alignment, right? I wasn't doing any work that I enjoyed. Either I worked in the pharmacy or I worked for the credit card, the bank. I worked for I worked for MBNA once, but then I worked for Barclays, right? So all work seemed like hard work because it was work that I hated. It was people that I hated, and spending time doing things that I hated, and even trying to access my benefits. You talk about accessing your benefits, even trying to access my vacation days was a fight. So it did all the work that I did felt like hard work. Before that, I was in the Army. Like my work took my life from me, it took my work that I did to make the money, to put the roof over my head and put gas in the car. Felt like it was taking my life from me. That's why I'm so glad to know, I'm so grateful to see Rashida's Money Make Money, because I'm like, oh, money can make money. It doesn't have to take your life. It doesn't have to cost you your life. The money that I did have, it cost me my life at that time.
Yeah. Stephanie, Rashida, did you start out as an attorney, like fresh out of, did you do anything other than becoming an attorney?
I was a part-time receptionist. I temped for a while, which is funny. I was just thinking about this.
Okay.
Right now, I worked for a temp agency for about 2 years, maybe. I didn't realize until this conversation that Stephanie and I both used to work in hospitals, and we both used to work in financial services. And I'm not sure if this is like just Black girl rites of passage, or whether like there's some kind of like, we ended up
always copying me. And she lived in Ohio, and she lived in Columbus.
I lived in Columbus, and yes, I've spent my whole life trying to be Stephanie. So no, I wasn't. I went to law school at 23, so I had 2 years in between graduation, like undergrad graduation and starting law school, and then straight from law school to the law firm. But on my very first job, like real big girl job, where I wasn't working for like a friend of a family or a family member or whatever, was at a coffee shop. I remember interviewing there, and they're like, great, you're hired, whatever. I came in the next day or a couple days later to work, and these fools were like, okay, go make coffee. First of all, I'm 16. I've never drunk coffee in my life. Second of all, ain't no book, ain't no manual, ain't no recipe. You're on a college campus, right? Yeah. This man looks me dead in my face and says he wants an Americano. And I was like, I don't even know what that is. And he was like, okay, what I need you to do is, so he's like, the customers are walking me through how to make their coffee, because I had no training. And then the rest of my job was cleaning. And I remember coming home after the first day and my entire body ached. And I was like, at minimum wage then, I don't know, $5, $4, whatever it was back in 95, 96. I was like, no, one day and done. Because the way y'all embarrassed me.
Y'all ain't doing that in real time. That's over.
Said an Americano, when I was like, I can pour coffee in a cup. Like, what else do you want? They didn't teach me anything. The actual, I've never really had a manual labor job. And I think that's one of the things I'm most grateful for in my life, especially living in a place that had seasons, watching people working outside in the winter. That's the thing I am most like, I don't take it for granted. I am most grateful for that. But I have never had like a very manual labor job. And I think that coffee shop is part of the reason. Because the way my body felt after one day, I was like, no, it was the cleaning. It was like if you ever worked in a cafeteria or a kitchen, it was that kind of like cleaning that you had to do. like the busting the trays, the mopping the things, lifting the chairs and doing. My body was done after a day. I said, oh, no.
I've had the manual labor in the elements in Chicago. You guys see
Mm-mm.
that white hard hat back there?
Mm-mm.
I climbed poles for a living for 11
Mm-mm.
years. Hanging wire, running wire, carrying ladders. I did that for 11 years. Like, all right, I'm done. Let me go in the inside, right? That's when I decided to become an engineer. All of my work, I enjoyed my work, except during times when weather was bad, right?
Mhm.
But after the manual labor, then I'm just, I'm an engineer, so I'm not doing too much of a big deal working. I've enjoyed my work over the course of my lifetime, right? I hear so many women that are burnout, that are in toxic work environments. That was never my thing at all. And I see that you deal with women like this quite often. And so when you're doing this, what is, I know that you bring people in for them, but speak to them because I seen this woman here say she can't work another 5 years. That's foreign to me.
Do you recognize how lucky you are?
I
And that
do.
that isn't everyone. Okay.
And the
Yeah.
fact that I'm one and done, meaning I did my career, I'm done with working.
Mhm.
I don't have to anymore, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, poles. I climb
You
poles for a
got
living
questions about
in
you and them polls,
Chicago.
girl.
No,
Mm, 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 mm,
not,
mm.
not any of those kind of poles. But anyway, yes, I did that kind of work for the beginning of my career. So
I think
go on.
for a lot of us, especially Black women, we're sold a bill of goods about like how work will bring you money and how hard work will bring you success and all the rest of it. But it's very rare that anyone gives you that Papa Pope speech, which you shouldn't need to begin with, right? But like the you got to work twice as hard. The end of that, the for half as much is the unspoken part. And so a lot of us come into the workforce thinking, I'm smart, I know what I'm doing, I'm going to be great. And then you end up in a workplace that wants to kick you in your teeth daily, right? Um, I've worked for some like absolutely sadists. There's no other reason you would be doing this
Wow.
besides you like causing pain. Like literally, like no lie, you like causing people pain because there's absolutely no other reason you would do this.
Okay.
What is happening here? Um, and a lot of that is unchecked, right? And so it continues on. And it's also, I think, in workplaces generational. A lot of people come in and they weren't treated well when they started. And so they're not going to treat anybody else well. And that kind of just goes and flows and goes. As women, when you also have to take care of the home, right? You got kids, whatever it is you have that's extra, because we know that when women work, they're doing more labor than men are doing, right? Because men have generally abandoned the home. So women end up taking on so much more just to work, just to get paid less money to do the same thing that dumb Ted is doing. And now you're treating me like crap,
Yeah.
or you're sexually harassing me, or like all of the labor force, the workforce is not kind to women. And so it burns us out. Exactly what Lydia said. It's not the work, it's a work environment,
Yeah.
right? That burns you out. And when it burns you out, it's really hard to recover because generally you tend to be in the same place trying to make it better. And how you can't make it better, you can't heal in a situation that hurt you, right?
Sure.
And so that's why I always tell women just to leave. Leave. Figure out a way out. Let us help you figure out a way out. Because I spent a lot of years thinking, like a lot of too much time and too much brain space on what is the shift that will make my work situation better. Killing all them people. Other than that, like there's nothing. There's nothing. Quitting. Quitting is the only thing. Quitting or them all retiring at the same time. And that was not going to happen.
It's not gonna happen, right? For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
That work situation was never going to get better because it being terrible got some people off, right? They enjoyed being terrible. Um, and so, yeah, that's why I'm always like, if you can get out, get out. And if you're looking for a path out, come to Exodus Summit.
Yes, for sure. Speaking of Exodus Summit, what type of talks will be in this year's summit?
We have some money sessions this year. Exodus Summit has Rashida and I talked to enough women inside of our community and out that we know what things Black women think are the reasons they can't go, right? The reasons they think they can't take a pause or retire or leave for a while or forever. So we've tried to address those things. We have sessions on how much money would it actually cost you to be in X country for X number of months, right? How do you even know that number? You don't know if you can't do it if you don't know what that number is. So Adelia Borshade, who is Picky Girl Travels the World, is coming in to help us do our number, right? How do you know what that number is? We have Marsha Barnes, who's the finance bar, coming to talk about more financial planning stuff, right? How to plan for your future, whether your future is abroad or back in the US, how to do some financial planning to be prepared, right? To get your money to work for you.
Yeah. Okay. Any other financials coming in there, or? And what about work? Exiting.
Yeah, I think, yeah, the work sessions are also money sessions, right? Because we work for money or sure, we don't work, right? So the work sessions are also money sessions. We have a session, Libria Jones is coming in to teach us how to find remote work. If the difference between you being in cold Chicago and sunny somewhere else, Panama, for a few months or forever is a remote job, Libria is coming in to teach us how to find remote work so that we can go ahead and get to where we want to be wherever we want to be in the world. Location freedom is amazing. Being able to decide where you're going to be, whether it's for the weather or for like events, right? I want to be here for this thing and I want to go there for that thing, or for whatever other reason, just so that you can stay home and not have to go into a job. Remote work is the answer to a lot of people's questions.
You mentioned location freedom, right? Is financial freedom something that you both want?
Desperately.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And what does it mean to you? What does it mean for you, rather?
So I think of it as the money that I make is enough money that makes money. The money that the money makes. The money that the money makes is enough for me to live on, right? So I talked about those people who had $2 million, UBS dividends were $100K a year, right? So yeah. I would consider myself financially free when I don't have to put any more money into that pot. But that's not the only path to financial freedom. That's just the easiest. I mean, not the easiest, but the simplest one that I can comprehend.
Sure.
Right?
And see, I question that, because is $100,000 a year going to get you yacht money? In the sense that, like, I don't have a financial freedom number because I think it's too high for me to even like say for like true freedom. I spend a lot of money. I can spend a lot of money. And that's why I'm like, there's a number somewhere. I don't know how many commas are in it. It's a lot.
Yeah, that was my old number. $2 million was my old number. Before I thought I would have children, before all the things. $2 million, I was like, okay, $100K a year, done.
I am pretty, first of all, the number that Rashida mentioned is not a number that she's touching. That's just continually growing for you. Is that correct? You're not touching that money. She's got money outside of that, you guys, to live off of. That money, all it's doing, the only job it has is to continue to grow for her, so that when she decides she's done with everything, she can start pulling off of that. That's the purpose of it.
And it still doesn't feel like freedom. That's the sad part. That's the sad. I'd say that's the sad part. It doesn't feel like freedom.
Why not?
It feels like comfort.
Okay.
If I want a Maserati today, I can't go buy a Maserati. That's what financial freedom would be to me. Like, today I bought a Maserati. Tomorrow I bought a helicopter.
Right. So
it's ridiculous, but I'm a ridiculous person, and I understand that.
You said it.
Financial freedom is going to look different for me.
Right, for sure, for sure. what generally is thought of as financial freedom is being able to have the money for the things that you need, having the money for the things that you want, and not having to worry about any of that. Now, I don't want a Maserati. You can give me one if you want, but do I want to go buy one? Absolutely not. That's not something for me. Um, I was some of my investments at one point in time, I was doing a lot with Tesla and I wanted a Tesla, but I didn't want to buy it. My friends bought me a little Tesla back over there. That's as good as I'm gonna get. I'm not gonna go buy it, right? I don't want to. I don't have to. I don't need to. It is all relative to what the things that you want in your life, right? So for yourself, determine what is financial freedom for you. And as long as you're not worried about how you're going to do your next anything, you're pretty much there. Or maybe you're just in a comfort zone that you would be okay with.
Yeah. No, for honestly, like I almost every city I go to, I'm like, I would like an apartment here. Who got 17 apartment dollars? I don't. So like where right that so I don't feel financially free because I cannot make all the choices I want to. They're not great choices. I still want to make them.
So Christyle Couture asks, well, not ask. I'm going off of something you're saying. You've been definitely educating your girls on what is and what is not acceptable. So the reason I'm bringing this up is about legacy, right? What do you guys want as to be your financial legacy, and what will you do with the money that you eventually produce when you're go on to do something high in the sky or whatever?
Because I don't have children, um, I want my money to go to my nieces and my nephews.
Okay.
I also want them to take care of me when I'm older. So I'll be spoiling them now. Like, what you want, baby? What you want? Because when I need someone, it's not even like I need you to physically take care of me. I don't want to be moved into your home. I don't want you to feel like you need to use your money to take care of me. Not that sense. I want there to be someone who can look at my account and be like, oh, whoever's handling her money is ripping her off. Like, that's what I want. Someone who can say like, she old and her brain's a little scrambled, but I got to do this one thing for her. You know what I mean? That's what I want.
I understand.
So yes, baby, y'all get this money, but there's a tiny string attached, tiny little string. You got to make
do
sure
a
few things, right? You don't have to physically take care of me emotionally. I don't need you holding my hand. I'm gonna have somebody to hold my hand. Just make sure that everything that I can't handle, like mentally, because or whatever, you help take care of.
Okay. And for you, Stephanie?
So I'm already I give money today so that I don't have to worry about my legacy later, and I can spend all my money. Right? Except for the kids, right? Kids that I have will be taken care of. But other than that, I don't. It's not like I want to stockpile cash and have the Stephanie Perry Library or whatever, the Getty Museum, right? I hope my legacy, I'm already doing that work. I already give money to women so they can take sabbaticals. And so I don't think too much about my financial legacy beyond that. That's the thing that I don't think if I spend every dollar, my dad said when on his last day, if his accounts are at zero, he did it right. Okay. So
you can't take it with you, right?
And it all right. I want to use it all. I want to enjoy it. Maybe my financial legacy will be she made some money and she enjoyed that money and she used that money. Right. I think that's more my speed.
Right. I like the idea of doing the work now, and I do like that for sure.
Yeah.
That's something from that's kind of old life for me. I was much more charitable and actually regularly giving quite a bit of money when I had a regular income coming in.
Yeah.
Now, when it's like a little feast and famine, sometimes there's still places I give to regularly, but not at the level that I used to.
Rashida, do you have feast or famine?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Except
I'm not someone who likes to work.
Well, I get you.
Right. But like, okay, so you saw the number, you know that 10% is non-retirement. How much can I transfer each year
Sure.
and still have a nest egg, right?
Yeah, I got it.
There's not that much room for transfer.
Feast or famine. Okay. We're going to go with that
I'm
one.
eating good either way.
Right.
I'm eating good either way.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just more or less of the good food.
Okay. If money were no object for either of
It's not.
you. That's not the answer, Stephanie.
This is my entire life. Stephanie just be like, spend the money. Spend the money.
Pardon me. I'm listening.
Why are we even talking about this? Just spend the money.
Just spend the money.
Spend the
Okay.
money.
So
Yeah.
I guess your splurge would be the $8 million yacht or $80 million.
80. Pardon me.
80.
Yes,
Okay.
80. Yes.
That would
It's
be
Super
your
Yacht
splurge.
Savannah. You can Google it. Super Yacht Savannah. Last time I looked, it was priced at $86 million. That's if money is no object, she's mine. That is how my family and I live. We live on that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I like it. I'm going to look it up for sure.
Yeah.
And for
Yeah.
Rashida?
Back in the day when I was a part-time receptionist, I was at a real estate company, and one of the realtors asked me to hold open house for him one Sunday. And it was a house in the Bay Area. I don't remember how many bedrooms, but I remember 13 car garage.
Oh dear.
And that would be one of the homes, right? That would be one of the homes. And the garage would be full of not of junk like a regular garage, but of like classic car. Like, I like shiny things, girl. I like shiny things. So
as I'm listening to this, I think I might still be in survivor mode here.
No, but like that is, it's the same thing as like when I thought 7 figures was like the key to life. I didn't know how I was going to get there. I just know I wanted it. I know I want lots of houses and lots of cars. How am I going to get there? That's not my business, right? Like, I can't draw a map. I'm just going to keep stepping, and then the path is going to, I feel like if I keep walking, my feet are going to be on the right path as long as I keep stepping forward.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
What's yours, D?
Oh goodness. Let me get out of my honestly, I don't have a lot of wants. I really don't. I'm kind of satisfied with the things that I have. I own property in different places, right? I guess being able to live on some island and having my friends come down, right? Yes. To live, right? To relieve them of some of the things they're doing. But other than that, I don't really want for very much at all.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
I just don't. Which is always hard for people to D, what do you want? I don't want anything. So they get off easy often.
Meanwhile, I'm like, I want a car. I want a house. So none of us are getting what we want, apparently. But you know what? Stephanie's a really good gift giver. So next time I see a house I like, I'm about to be like, somebody should get this for me, and then I'm gonna have the house.
Stephanie. Stephanie.
Yes.
See if they take checks.
Rubber. Rubber checks, right?
Just a little house or two. Just give me a little flat in London. Thank you.
All right. So that's money. So what do you guys want for, I don't even know if I should say career for you. What do you want for your businesses or any ventures that you're doing?
A lot of things for Exodus it does not want. This is going to have to be two separate answers.
I want a lot of money.
Okay.
Because I like money. It's one of the shiny things I like. And I want, not today, y'all, not today, but eventually I want our clients to put us out of business because so many women have gone on to do the thing they've gone on to take the break. But we can't find Black women anymore who are working. Not today, though, y'all. We're still in.
We're in business.
We're still in business.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love for Exodus Summit. I would love for Exodus Summit to have a sabbatical hotel. Rashida's not interested in that. It's not going to. Somebody gives us a hotel, and even if. But that is a business goal. So I guess that is a business goal that I have that is not shared, and but it may, if it happens, it'll be something. I would love a sabbatical hotel, right? This is where Black women go when they're on sabbatical and they don't know where else, or they want to go here. This is the hotel that they stay in. That would be awesome.
Okay.
Like
you said it was a 2-part answer. What's your other part?
That's what I meant. I just meant that I have my answer. Rashida has her answer. It's not the same answer.
Michelle down the street from me right now is doing sabbaticals at Casa Elm.
That's right.
A sabbatical home for women.
That's right.
I feel like the universe has provided it already.
Michelle has a wonderful space for women. She really does. Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken, Rashida, after the first summit, you said that was it, right?
Yes.
But now you're 4 more in. So there's a chance there's a hotel coming. Maybe.
Stephanie talks me into all kinds of stuff where I'm like, this was a terrible idea. How she did it's like that Ameriprise lady. She talks me into it. In the middle of it, I'm like, what's happening here? I got finessed.
Yeah, but hers is going to be a good idea. And she's not going to benefit from it like that other woman did. So I think it's going to be a good idea.
She's not going to benefit financially, but she going to.
If you guys
look what we have done in the world. I'm about to be like, the liabilities, the this, the that.
How long do you think Exodus Summit will go on that you can see yourself being behind right now?
This is not the right time to ask us this question because there's
like next week it's over.
Okay.
So,
this is the question to me.
The October answer is always different from September answer. Always.
It's very different. Very different.
Wait until Thanksgiving and then ask us again. Because right now, this was it. Okay. Ask later.
I saw someone the other day say, I can't go this year, but I'm going to get my ticket next year. And I was like, baby,
you better do it today. I swear they looking good. You better do it today.
I don't know about that, girl. I don't know about that.
Every year, it just confirms for us that we were not made to be hard workers, right? Every year, it confirms like this is hard and we don't like it. I'm sure there are people who, I don't know. I don't think anybody was made to be a hard worker, but we are sure that we were not.
Sure.
Do you know about what percentage it has grown each year?
What do you define? How do you define growth? Like attendees?
Yeah. I don't understand how
it shrunk.
Because and by the way, guys, if you don't know, there's also a Facebook group that you guys can join. Yes. I'll drop the link in as well in here so that you guys can get some of this information if you don't already have it. But go on. If it's, how else can you define it?
The community has almost doubled every year, I guess is a way to put it. The summit attendees, because we have so many people who are like, thanks, got it, right? The summit attendee number does not really rise. For the last 3 years, we've had about the same number of attendees.
Mm-hmm. We were hoping to double it this year, but it's not. It's weird because we think it's an economy thing, but the message seems to resonate with so many people, and we're always, like Stephanie said, always finding new people coming in, but I think we've also done the job for some of the existing women. So it's kind of like we're replenishing the well, or there's probably a better way to say that when we're talking about humans. But, there's some turnover.
Turnover, yes. There are Exodus women who exit, right? and they're like, this was amazing. Thank you.
Mhm.
I don't need this again, right? I did it. I don't need this again. So the summit attendee size has been pretty consistent for the last 3 years. Our Facebook group has doubled every year since 2020, right? Since the beginning. Yeah. So our community is growing and strong. And then our no, they're not offshoots, but like people are now, I don't know that there's a place that you can go in the world and you can't meet up with some women from Exodus Summit, right? That is that's the story. So when you say how are we growing, that's the story. I don't think there's a place where you can touch down today and be like, hey, I'm in town. Anybody from Exodus Summit here? Where would you go and not find Minnesota? Like if there's Black women meeting in Minnesota in February, they're everywhere. We meet in Exodus Summit women are everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's why it's hard for us to say how are we growing every year? Like we're growing. It's growing.
You mentioned offshoots, and so I think you're speaking of the meetups in different areas across the world, right? You also have offshoots in other people putting on conferences or summits. Like we just completed one in August. A group of 6 of us did the Redefining Life Abroad Summit, and we also have the Move to Mexico conference going on, which we're doing that with some locals across Mexico. So that's also something that you guys were the catalyst for as well, I think. Not just for us, there's a bunch of folks doing Move to Portugal, Move to wherever. People are trying to get out of the US, and they may be accelerating that because of this election, or just because they're finding out that they can live a different life, a better life by leaving their home country. So I thank you all for everything you've done and continuing to show us the way. Continue to show us the way how to sit back and do this while your money about to double.
Okay, I got a question for you, Dee. Now that you've run a conference/summit online event, was it easier, harder, more work, or less work than you thought it would be?
It was more work than I thought it would be. I was like, okay, let's do it. This gonna be fun. Oh God, this work. Wait a minute. Right.
So think about that when you say, is Exodus Summit gonna happen again?
Oh, I understand that. However, it was great satisfaction to have those women get the things that they need and to be able to free themselves of whatever they're trying to free themselves from. Right. So I hope that continues to be something that we do. Some of the folks here, Finding Alam was and is a part of the team that helped us do the first summit that we're doing, as well as the conference coming up, and the prepared agent as well. That's Bobby. I saw Tracy Collins in here earlier. She is actually the one that came up with the idea for us to do the first one. So, and Michelle Wedderburn as well. So yeah, it was a lot of work. It is a lot of work, but it is satisfying work. And maybe we won't do it again. No, I'm just kidding.
If you're not sure about getting a ticket, know that we are busting our behinds.
Yes.
To give you the best summit, busting our behinds to give you the best summit possible. And it's definitely worth it. What was that?
You're giving people options for sure, and showing them the way, bringing them all the resources that they need to go and be successful for sure. I am going to drop it once again. I put it in the comments along the way. Where's the thing at? Here it is. Control. There we go. This is the Exodus Summit. It is their 5th year. They mentioned some of the speakers that they have. Go ahead. Click on that link. That's my link. That would help me out a lot. Check it out. See what they have to offer. And I am pretty sure that they will help you. They will show you the way. Right?
Yes. That's right. It's important that you click Dee's link so that she gets her. This is an affiliate link. Let her. This is a way that you can thank her for creating this space. She's made it her mission to help Black women. What is the word? The wealth gap. Help Black women.
Help close the wealth gap. right?
That's
Because it
right.
is bad,
That's
y'all. We got to do something about our money. Those folks
That's
are far ahead of us, and that it is my goal to help bring us up in a way that starts to be noticed in the numbers, right? And so not only noticed in the numbers, but noticed in your family, noticed in your communities, for sure. And thank you. Yeah, like this video, please. This has been great. I really appreciate you guys coming here. I was nervous and trembling before, but you guys
Girl,
made it very easy for me. I was.
Earlier today, she was like, "I'm so scared, girl."
In that
so
voice.
we're the best guests ever.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
we win.
Yes.
We
Best
won.
guest
Thank
ever.
you.
I appreciate you so much.
We
Cool.
won.
Thank you guys so much. Is there anything you guys want to leave us with?
Come to Exeter Summit.
Yeah. So
The reason we do it is so that women who don't see a way see paths ahead of them. Like I said, I don't see the way to the money I want, but I'm gonna keep stepping. We're going to illuminate a path for you, multiple paths for you. You get to choose what you take, and you get to choose and say, like, okay, maybe not neither one of those paths, but like somewhere in the middle, right? Like there's so much opportunity out there, and we just want to bring some of that to you.
yeah, that's right.
Yes.
That's
Thank
right.
you guys
Hope we'll
so
see
much.
you. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you very, very
Thank
much. I
you.
really, really appreciate this.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Whether you see it now or see it later, listen, send this out to your friends. This is some information that they will be able to benefit from. To you guys that come later, hello in the future. Stephanie taught me that.
Well done. A+.
Thank you very much. All right, you guys have a great one. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.